Okay.
Abraham, ¿cómo está mi hermanito? You're muted. Está muted.
Muy bien, ¿cómo estás, Obi?
Lo más bien, gracias.
Spanish, press 1.
Press 2.
We can say Bismarck.
Well, we have, let's see.
I think you have 4.
Hello.
We have a lot of people, but no members. We got Morty Gross, Naftali, Mayor Gelly. It's 3.
You got A.
Fran told everybody to be on time, so this is why we're here.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Abe is there.
Morty Gross, Abe is 4.
Yeah, we need one more zoning board member at least.
Right. We only have 4. Obi, can we count you?
I would love to.
I don't know. We have to check that one with Jerry Dust.
No, I've already been told I don't think I could be counted.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for Abe Halberstam.
Yep.
1.
For me?
Well, I think Gabe's here.
I am here. I'm just trying to get my camera up and running.
All right, Judah just signed on.
Yep. Do this.
Can you
So
guys
you
hear
should
me?
have 5 now.
Yes.
Abraham, there, Opie, Morty, Abe. Actually, you have 6 now.
No.
Well, yeah, because Morty Gross is on as well.
Why isn't my camera working? I'm going to log out for a second and log right back in.
Hey, we can see you.
There he goes. He's at the beach. No wonder you can't see him. Abe's at the beach.
Who's he looking up?
He's hanging out.
I will not comment on Abe. Starting? What's the problem?
We have 5 members. Just need Abe together. Hey, Gross, I can see your picture.
I think it looks like he's having problems too, Fran.
Okay.
That's the only problem. What are you only dialing, or you can?
If I have to go out and go back in.
You still need Morty and Abe.
Abe seems to be back.
No, it's not on yet.
Oh, no? All right,
Can't see him and I can't see Morty.
there he goes.
I see Judah, I see Abraham.
Okay, I'm on. Something's wrong with my cameras. I don't know what's wrong, but we'll have to deal with it. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just get my paperwork.
Abe went swimming, he's on the beach.
He's back.
Abe, I'm not sure if you know, but there's somebody out there with you.
Ready. Okay, are we ready? Is everyone on? How many members we have? Good evening, everyone.
I have 5 and Obi Gonzalez will be 6 if he can vote.
No, okay, we'll talk about that soon. You have 5. Morty Gross is there.
Yes.
Do I have anyone else? Mayor Gelli?
I have Gelly, Naftali, Vivian, you.
Okay, and who's David Bernstein?
He's an app.
He's an applicant? Okay. Jason, you have two lines on? Yeah, you're on 2 cameras, on two WebEx logins? Jason?
Yes, I have to be on too. It's no big deal. It's fine.
That's fine. Okay. So I'm just gonna open the meeting. I know, Jerry's gonna be a little bit late, so let's just open the meeting. And while we open the meeting, I'm going to move, forward and,
Abe, we have his assistant on. Where'd he go? I don't know where oh, here he is.
He's
It's
here.
Okay.
Dusty,
Yep,
but his name's
I'm still here.
fine. Okay, so he's gonna be on tonight? Perfect. Fine.
Yes, I'm filling in for Jerry for while he's indisposed right now. He should be on hopefully within 30 minutes. But my name is Patrick Varga as well, and I'm an associate with the firm.
Okay, excellent. Fine. As long as Jerry approves of you, then I approve. Okay? Okay, so we're gonna open tonight's meeting. Tonight's meeting has been advertised according to the New Jersey State Sunshine Law. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Gelli,
Yeah.
Mr. Langley, Polly,
Yes.
Mr. Bibiat, Amber, Mr. Gross.
Mr. Gross?
Mr. Gross is here. He was.
He was here a few minutes ago. There he is.
There he is.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez,
Here.
right, and Mr. Halberstam.
Yes, here. Okay, I would like to ask everyone to please salute to the flag. I pledge,
Allegiance
you are our president
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
for which it stands,
stands,
one nation,
nation,
God,
God, indivisible,
liberty, and justice for all.
justice for all. Thank you. I see Moshe Ingber joined. Moshe Ingber and Morty Gross joined. They'll be in lieu of a number of members that are missing for tonight's meeting. Madam Secretary, tonight's meeting, just to make a quick announcement, the meeting for, Mike Slacker is calling me. 1 second, please. Hello? Hello?
Fred, are you able to see me?
Yes, it did. Log on.
No, I can't see your face. I can hear you though.
You must log on to, you're looking at the meeting from last week. Go to find today's, today's invitation.
Tell me it was sent out on the 11th.
Yeah, it was sent out on the 11th, okay?
Oh, I just sent it to Machine, but 1 minute I'll find it again.
Moise Lankry,
Okay.
In Berkeley and Lankley, right?
the 11th,
Now
okay?
find it again.
No, it's not. It's a separate invitation. All right, let me just move forward and I'm gonna find it, okay?
I got it, I sent it.
Okay, you got it. Franny, can you send it to Moise Lankry?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Sent it to Machine.
okay. Can I have a motion to approve? Nothing to approve. Resolutions from last week's meeting?
The only resolution we have is appeal number 4154, 698 River Avenue.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve, the resolution for River Avenue?
What was the problem? Why didn't we approve it on Monday? Last Monday?
Because one of the board members wanted to review it and look at it because he thought there was an issue with it. But we can't hold it up much longer, so we have to move forward with it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion from Mayor Gelli. Madam
Second.
Secretary, can I have a second?
Second.
Second from, Avram Naftali. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Gelli,
Yes.
is Mr. Lanky here?
Mike, she's there?
Not yet.
No. Okay, Mr. Naftali?
Yes.
Mr. Ribbiat?
Yes.
Is Ingrid on?
Muted now?
Yes.
Mr. Gross?
Yes.
Salas, and Mr. Halberstam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. At this
Okay.
point, I just want to make a very quick announcement that's going to hit everyone by a little bit of a surprise. My announcement is that our wonderful esteemed vice chairman for so many years, I can't even count the years he was my pinch hitter, will no longer be joining the zoning board. Unfortunately, Obi Gonzalez made a very smart move and a smart decision and a very wise decision to move out of Lakewood, and he's no longer a resident of Lakewood. Having said that, Obi cannot sit on this board no longer. I'd just like to take this few minutes and thank Obi for his service and for his wonderful work that he's done for Lakewood Township and for all of us. Obi, it's been a pleasure knowing you. I hope not to bump into you in a dark alley and going forward.
I just want to say thank you to all my brothers on the zoning board. We had a lot of good times together, tough times and good times. I did buy a place. I thought by owning property in Lakewood that I still do, I would be able to sit on the board. Unfortunately, since I no longer live in Lakewood, I can't. It's heartening because I was looking forward to another year of a lot of applications. But I wish you all the very best, blessings to all, and thank you for the opportunity. I told Abe earlier that I learned a lot from you guys that I can take forward with me in my life, and I can't say, sad that we can't see each other and hug you guys, but this is to you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Thank you, Obi.
Thank you.
Obi, yesterday.
Excuse me?
I hope you moved out to Florida, Obi.
I didn't hear you much.
I hope Obi moved to Florida.
No.
But he's moved not too far from a beach.
I'm a couple of towns away. I'm in Ocean Township, guys.
Okay.
And he's
Let's move on.
I just want to add something for our chairman. Our chairman said that he doesn't want to meet you in a dark alley. If you and I are in a dark alley together, as long as you're on my team, I feel good.
I'll always be on your team.
Good. Good for you.
Blessings. I know you guys have got it busy evening, so go
It's
ahead,
been an
man.
honor serving with you, Obi.
Obi, it's been an honor. Honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, moving forward. Franny, can you look at the calendar? Did I go through all the opening items on there? I don't have my calendar on me.
I think we need to make an announcement about appeal number 4115, Hampton Development.
Hampton Developments, yes, 4115 Hampton Developments will not be heard tonight for the reason that since we pushed it off last week on January 4th for today's meeting, the items that were posted for that meeting did not have the criteria of 10 days, and therefore, by statute, it's not allowed to be heard tonight. It'll be heard on February 1st, I believe it is, or February 2nd.
The 1st, Monday the 1st.
Monday the 1st. So whoever is here for that meeting, please note that it'll be heard on Monday the 1st. Now that we have everything posted online according to the statute, there's no reason why it should be postponed. See everyone on February the 1st.
No further notice. They will not be asked.
Without further notice and with a waiver of time. Okay. Moving forward. I'm going to take the meeting tonight just a drop out of order because we have two members on the board that have to leave after this meeting because there is a wedding that they're so kindly stepped out of. we need a quorum. We need more than 5 members for that board, for that meeting. I'm going to go to 41518 Spruce Street LLC.
This is for an amendment, I think, well, we need 5 affirmative votes on this.
Correct.
It's
And
an
do we have do we have 6 members? How many members do we have on board?
Yes.
How many do we have? Let's just count before we move forward.
1,
Morty,
2, 4,
Judah,
5,
Mayor,
6.
Naftali, Ingber.
Langley, we got them all.
We got them all. Okay, perfect.
Excuse me, Chairman.
Yes.
Yeah, on 4158, we'll hear testimony, I guess, from Brian shortly. I'm not sure they require use approval. As far as I can tell from the architecturals, they're virtually identical. I think there was a very small increase in square
What's the name of
footage.
that one? That's
You're talking about Spruce Care, right?
Yeah,
I'm talking about Spruce Street, but it's changing to an office building.
Mr. Chairman, this is Adam Pfeffer. We are, as a board to caution, I think we are going to ask for the use again, so there's no issues later on. We'll get to that. It should be a very short testimony. A few changes, and we'll go over those.
Okay, excellent.
41518 Spruce Care LLC, Spruce Street and Pine Street, block 855.01, lots 26 and 29. This is an amended site plan to request new side yard setback variances to allow for more parking on the site.
Okay, Adam, is that yours?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Adam Pfeffer, Tim Gaffney, as indicated, this application-
1 minute, Adam, before you continue, can I ask everyone to please mute your microphone so we can hear Adam clearly?
Is that better? So we had previously received approval for a building that was comprised of about 60% office and 40% a childcare facility. Subsequently, that childcare facility is no longer involved in the project, and now we're looking to just do office space 100%. By doing that, that creates a new parking requirement. As the board may recall, in the previous application, there was some very site-specific and a lot of testimony about the traffic flow of cars coming in, dropping off children. And so we had some very specific site improvements as well as architectural improvements in the building to accommodate that childcare facility. Since that's now been removed, we're just having a regular straightforward office building. We were able to shift the building back a little bit, square it off, and we're coming back before the board for those minor improvements. We're not asking for any parking variances. There's a slight increase in the overall square footage of the building, and a setback variance, which I guess Brian will testify into in a moment. Again, the reason we're asking for the use is in the zone that we're in, office buildings are not a permitted use. A childcare facility is a permitted use, but we're no longer seeking that, and we're just seeking now the office space, and that's why I'm re-asking for that use variance to be granted. At this time, if we can swear in Brian Flannery.
Sir, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Brian Flannery, Jackson, New Jersey, licensed professional engineer and professional planner.
Brian, give me a second. Adam,
Yeah.
Adam, just to clarify,
As Adam indicated,
Brian, give me 1 minute, please. 1 minute, Brian. Adam, last time I believe we approved a childcare and an office building and an office third floor. So now, what are we doing now? So we did give you the mixed use of childcare and office.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And childcare is a permitted use. The office was the one that we needed the use variance for. Now we're
Correct.
taking away the childcare because that tenant's no longer around, and now we're just going for straight office use.
Okay, Brian, go ahead, Brian.
so as Adam indicated, this is a application for an amended site plan. The board previously, as has just been discussed, approved a office building with a daycare in the office building on this same property. As Adam indicated, it was a large daycare. There were a lot of traffic concerns with respect to dropping it off. There were special provisions on the building to accommodate the daycare. And we're here this evening for an office building on the site. The board had previously granted a use variance to allow office, and that's the reason for it in the first place, because office is not a permitted use. At the application that was submitted initially, we submitted the building floor area was 1,905 square feet. The new building is 22,069 square feet, which is an increase of 149 square feet, which is less than 1% in building area. So my testimony is the building size is virtually the same. Nobody's going to notice the difference between less than
Brian?
1% in the building. What we did do is built
Brian,
to the
Brian.
south and to the west to allow
Brian,
for the parking. Yeah. Yes.
well, you're coming across very bad. I can hardly hear you. You're coming across very choppy. Can you check your connections?
All right, maybe call in on the phone.
I think he froze.
If you'd
You
like, I could.
froze.
Yeah, Brian,
Okay.
call on the phone. We're coming in a little choppy.
You're on mute, that you're done, and I'll try to push you one. What's the amount of time to live here?
The thing, his testimony was that the building was exactly the same size.
Who said that?
Vice Lankery.
It's
Yeah,
about 150 square feet larger.
The building approved was approximately 1,900 square feet. The new building will be 2,069 square feet, which is approximately 140 feet difference.
Right, that I heard, but afterwards he came across choppy. Brian, can you hear us now? Brian?
I believe he's signing in under the phone.
He froze again?
I hear you. I'm going.
Excuse me, Chairman, this is Terry.
Yes, Terry.
If the members want to see the difference in building size that's referenced on the bottom of page 2 of our review.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. Okay, Brian, can you proceed? Brian, you're on mute.
All right, now I'm unmuted.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's
Okay.
try it. Go ahead.
All right, so as I indicated, the previously approved was for a
I work, she thinks that classes.
building floor area of 21,925 square feet. The current application is for 22,069 square feet. It's an increase of 149 square feet, which is less than 1% of the building area. So my testimony is that the board granted the use the last time. This use is the same use, and the building is virtually the same size. Nobody is going to see the difference in 149 square feet on a 22,000 square foot building. Looking at the benefits is we've added 50 parking spaces, and in order to add the 50 parking spaces, we've moved the building back because we don't need people in front of it and back at the same way we did with the daycare being a large. And we've optimized the parking. So we took it from 116 parking spaces to 166 parking spaces. So that's an increase of 50 parking spaces with this design. Now, what we do need in order to accommodate those additional parking spaces, we requested 2 C2 variances for a side setback to the west of 7 feet where 10 is required, and a rear setback to the south of 10 feet where 20 feet is required. And certainly we're sensitive to the privacy of the neighbors. And the building is going to be roughly 150 feet from Spruce Street. So I think the neighbors that are impacted are the two residential lots behind us and the large lot to the west of us. So being sensitive to the residential lots behind us, we would propose that we would do landscaping to the satisfaction of the board engineer, and the windows would all be, you're not going to be able to look out from the windows into the neighboring adjoining lots. If we go through the other items in Terry's report with respect to the zoning, as indicated in item 1, use variance relief was granted under the prior appeal, number 4151, that granted it. We are, out of an abundance of caution, requesting the use again in case it was determined that this was an increase in the use. I mean, we had office use before. It's roughly the same building. The building's moved back, so we've added 50 parking spaces, but we are going to request that variance. And then the two C2 bulk variances that I indicated, a 7-foot side yard where 10 feet is required, and a 10-foot rear yard where 20 feet is required. The building has an area up front for drop-off. It has a park area that provides adequate access. It has a dumpster toward the back of the building. So all of the requirements to service this building are in place, and it'll be a general office. There's going to be no medical office in it. It's a general office building. The building fronts on Pine Street. And I know there's a lot of concern in the Albert Avenue neighborhood because I've done a lot of applications in this area. This project has no traffic that goes into the Albert Avenue area. It has traffic on Pine Street near the intersection with New Hampshire. I'm sure the board knows that's a busy street, but I've been driving through Lakewood for 40 some years now. And right now, most of the streets are busy. This office will provide work opportunities, and the office is a use that's it runs on different peak timing than a use like a school or something of that nature, where the peaks coincide with the other peaks. If we look at the justification for both the use and the bulk variances, the master plan of 2017 on page 7 says encourage growth and development in appropriate locations and consistent with established land uses. And that was when we got the original approval. We showed where the township building is right next to us. The whole Pine Street corridor is an area that has an overlay per the zoning, so something different could go on there. So this is really a lot that's on Pine Street as opposed to in the Albert Avenue area. It says provide sufficient educational, recreational, and community facilities to meet the future needs. This is a rateable, and it provides job opportunities for people. Looking at the municipal land use law, NJSA 40:55D2, on the purpose of the act, A is to encourage municipal action to guide the appropriate use or development of all lands in a state in a manner which will promote public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. And G is to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for a variety of agricultural, residential, recreational, and commercial uses to meet the needs of the citizens. So this does meet a need. It provides ratables in accordance with some of the goals in the master plan. And it's my testimony that this relief can be granted without any substantial detriment to public good and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. It's across the street from the Cedar Bridge development area. It's on Pine Street, which is a very busy street. The impact to the rear residential lots will be mitigated by the window treatments that I mentioned previously, as well as landscaping. And the traffic into the Albert Avenue area is non-existent because we're on Pine Street. For the use that we're asking, we have to show that it benefits the public good, and this does benefit the public good. The additional parking spaces is a benefit. So that's my testimony.
Brian, if I can, just
Brian, you have to.
Brian, if you don't mind turning off the speaker to your computer, because we hear you we hear you better through your phone. We hear an echo. We hear you twice.
I think he's saying that he can't, Chairman.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just had one thing I wanted on the record, either Brian or Adam. Just one confirmation that the proposed parking meets UDO standards for the new use. Is that correct?
correct.
Thank you.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Brian, if I can, just two things. I just wanted to clarify. I looked at the architectural plans. I think the square footage was 22,082, not 069. Just want to clarify that. And the other item, Brian, if you can just, you were referring to an exhibit. I would like to mark that A1. If you can just give a date of the exhibit for the record.
Just so everybody knows, both of mine are muted and it's still echoing. So I don't know where the echoing's coming from, but it's not here. So we'll call this A1, which is site plan use variance plan prepared by New Line 3 of 3.
Thank you.
Okay. Brian, I don't know if he's mentioned it, but I didn't hear it. Where is the garbage going to be picked up from? I don't see it here on the plan. If it's in the back, all the way in the back, by that proposed.
At the end of the parking aisle on A1.
On the end of the park, all the way in the back. So it's right up against the neighbor's backyard, rear yard. Correct?
In that area, we would provide fencing and landscaping to buffer.
So my question is, Terry, help me out over here. Can a garbage truck, a sanitation truck, pull all the way back in there and then back out?
Is that going to be private pickup, Brian?
It would be private pickup, and we can get the vehicle to pick it up at off hours so that is accomplished.
It's not too long, Terry.
As long as it's private, Chairman, they can bring in a front end unit if they had to. And like Brian said, if they're picking up off hours, they're not going to have to cut conflicts with anybody parking or any other potential obstructions.
Okay.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, fine. They just know that if there's a car going to be parked there or someone's going to be blocking it, their garbage will not get picked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the chair?
Wait 1 second, whoever that is. Give me 1 minute, please. Brian, I don't know if you missed it, if I didn't hear you, because I was just trying to fix my camera here. What's the reason why we need 7 feet on one side and 10 feet in the back for this side yard setback and rear yard setback?
The purpose of that is to maximize the parking areas. We have a 60-foot aisle. In order to accommodate the building, we go within 7 feet of that property line. And it's my opinion, having viewed that in the field, that the 3 feet change can be accommodated by fencing and landscaping.
And you're going to do what kind of fencing?
What would you like to see, Mr. Chairman?
I would like to see a 6-foot fence. Those white plastic board-on-board fences, not the cheap chain link fence, which is gonna fall apart unless other board members disagree with me. Is
We'll
everyone
comply with whatever the board recommends.
okay? Okay. And there won't be any opening from the rear property line into those 2 new proposed lots? It's gonna be a solid fence closed, you won't be able to go through? So you won't be able to utilize Pine Street through a thoroughfare into East Spruce Street? Are we gonna close that whole thing up?
That is correct.
Okay. I have no further questions. Anyone from the board members have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Who's that? Announce yourself.
Judah.
Judah, yes, Judah.
Yeah, is there any requirement for the garbage to be distance away from the back of the property line?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say, Judah?
The enclosure for the garbage, is there any requirement for it to be away from the property line? It looks like it's right up against the property line.
I've never seen something like that unless Terry can answer the question.
Even a shed, even a shed? has-
Question for Fran, I don't believe a trash enclosure, because it's not permanently affixed. I don't believe that's interpreted as a structure, correct?
That's what I would think.
So is that?
I'm assuming it's not because,
I thought I heard them say something about a concrete structure.
well, there's a concrete pad that the trash enclosure sits upon, and then there's an enclosure around that pad and around the enclosure unit.
Okay.
Defer to Fran, but since the actual vessel that the trash is held in is not permanent, I'm thinking that that's not a structure.
And what's
Brad?
behind there?
And it is 5 feet from the property line, right?
I think it's less than that. Brian, do you know how far it is?
It is less than 5 feet, it's approximately 2.
What is behind there? Is that a private residence behind there?
That's a future residential unit.
So is there a concern that it might be affecting the neighbor behind them?
Well, and any future residents moving in there are gonna know that it's there. My opinion is they're not. And it's an office building trash enclosure. Not like the supermarket that's gonna have
I'm not hearing you.
Brian was saying that it's office trash, not household trash or supermarket trash. So it's basically paper and on a lot of shredded pieces of paper.
Any ways that could be brought up a little bit, just away from the back property there, so it shouldn't affect a future neighbor?
One item, if I can, through the chair, the properties behind us, those residential houses, the board remembers, were part of the original subdivision. We came in together with the school next door, and those properties, they are aware what's happening, and they were happy to lose the child care facility. We're fine. I'd like to leave the spot there, leave the track where it is, so we can get as much parking. We would agree to put some shrubbery or some landscaping, a tree or something back there to give some extra buffering. We would like to try and leave the location if at all possible.
Okay, I mean, I just to bounce an idea out there, I'm not sure if it would be worthwhile to lose a parking space or two just to move the garbage away. Anybody have a thought about that?
Yes.
Question for Brian, if I could, Chairman. Could you eliminate 2 spaces and still meet the UDO requirement?
I would rather, to the chair, I'd rather
Yes.
not lose any parking and leave as much parking as possible. Houses are not going to be flush to the property. They're still going to have some sort of setback from where the house starts. And then the residents, whoever's going to move there is going to know what's going on. They're going to put nice tall trees, and I don't think it's worth losing any parking. I think as much parking as we can get is worth it. That's just my opinion.
I for one was thinking about the same thing about removing a parking space too, but I would agree with Abraham that it's not worth it on Pine Street. There's no off-street parking over there. As many parking spaces you can keep, but I would like to beautify behind this trash enclosure, make something strong so it doesn't hit the fence that's going to be back there. That'll be knocked down. Put in like a double layer or something or other, either with trees.
The applicant would agree to work with Terry and the engineer's office to make sure there's something more than just a regular fence and some shrubbery back there, so we can give some extra buffering without losing any parking spaces.
Just so everyone's clear, Chairman,
Yes.
looking at the plans, I only see a few feet distance from the edge of this enclosure to that property line. There's not going to be room, unless I'm missing something, to put trees in between that structure and the property line. I like the idea of the 6-foot solid vinyl. I think that's a great idea. We can certainly work with the applicant to add landscaping along the sides of it. It's just, I don't see room, frankly, to put new trees in the rear.
What I'm worried
Just so
about,
everybody's
Terry,
clear.
Okay, Terry, what I'm worried about is that when the garbage gets picked up, it's a front loader because what you just said is so close. The front loader might hit that fence and knock it down. So maybe even put a brick wall in the back there where the trash container will sit right there.
You actually have that, Chairman, as part of the proposed trash enclosure. That's exactly what's shown.
Okay, so then I wouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, and
Judah,
then
you okay
you're
with
gonna
that?
have 6-foot vinyl fence is gonna be behind that.
I mean, I still tend to disagree with, I would prefer to see more space and less parking, but, whatever the board sees fit, I'm not going to stand, hold ground on this. I do have another question.
Go ahead.
Brian, in the parking lot, I see that the space come right up against the building. Is there any walkway along the side of the building where somebody parks his car can walk, or is it walking through the lot?
What was that? I missed that question.
So along the side of the building, on what I would say, I guess, the left side of the building, there's just, it looks like the fencing is pretty close to the building. I was wondering if there's going to be any place over there, sidewalk perhaps, where people can park their car can walk, maybe with kids or something like that.
Brian, that's for you.
The area between the curb and the building would be concrete, so it would provide a walkable surface for anybody.
And how big of an area is that?
It looks like it probably varies from 3 feet to 6 feet.
Okay. Is there any entrances or any way in or out of the building along that entire entrance, just in the front of the building?
There is an entrance in the middle of the building.
Is there going to be a walkway so people can walk in and out there? Is that going to be an active entrance?
Well, that's a side entrance which would go to steps to get upstairs. More the main entrance is the front of the building.
So people would have the ability to walk alongside, go in the building, up and down the steps, or come along to the front of the building and enter over there?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe there are 3 feet, Brian.
Pardon me?
I believe there are 3 feet along the left side of the building.
Yes, it looks like from 3 to 6 feet. You have the jog, which allows for a little extra room in those areas.
So the 3 feet, is that including like a bumper for the car? Like when the car pulls up, they have these little blocks. Is the area block out the space?
We could put blocks along that road so that people's bumpers would not overhang the curb.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Chairman.
Thank you. Yes.
Is there a basement in this building also?
I didn't question.
Ryan, I'm sorry. Is there a basement in the building?
Sewer basin. I didn't see any.
This is
Stormwater sewer, right?
Of 20,000 square feet without a basement?
A basement. I thought you said a basin.
Nah, I don't need a basement.
The plans I have don't show a basement. I would assume there would be a basement there for the mechanicals and.
Okay, but so the basement is mechanicals and no other use.
But no usable space in the basement.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I had a question. Can you guys
Who's
hear me?
that?
Morty.
Who's that? Morty? Yeah, go ahead, Morty.
So the turnoff into Pine Street, I believe we talked about this last time. Are we making sure that there's no left turns out of this parking lot?
That is correct.
A right in, a right out.
Yes.
Okay. Moish, you wanted to say something before? Or Morty, are you done?
Yeah, no, I'm just curious if it would improve the flow of the traffic if you'd have it restricted to one side in and one side out instead of two-way in and two-way out.
When you say one side in, one side out, please, what do you
So
mean?
the eastern side, I would suggest like the eastern side be restricted to only only coming out and like a do not enter. So that way you don't have people right when they come down Pine Street, right off of New Hampshire, trying to make a left turn coming in and crossing over Pine Street to get
You
in.
can't. It's a right side in, right side out. You're not allowed to cross over.
I know, but people are going to do it anyway. So at least if they go a little bit further, they won't block. They won't block New Hampshire that way. Won't back up into New Hampshire.
So
In other words, what I'm suggesting is just one, instead of doing two-way traffic for in and out on both entrances, make the eastern side for exiting only and the western side for entrance only.
And you're saying it's a right in and a right out, but each one way.
That's what I'm thinking.
Brian?
My professional opinion would be that it's better for traffic flow the way it is because there's two opportunities to pull in and pull out. And this is going to be an office building where people are going to be used to where the parking spaces are available when they get there. And this gives two options. Obviously, if the board feels differently, we would go along with the board's.
Hold on. I have a thought about that. Morty, if the cars are going to come in from the western side, where are they going to swing around to go to the other side parking lot? The other side of the parking lot. They're going to go in front of the crossway over there?
Well, you mean inside? Yeah, inside the parking lot itself. I guess they would make a right going into the parking lot, go all the way around to the front of the building, and cruise around that way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but over there it's some compressed curbs, and I see walkways for the ADA for the handicapped people. I don't know if it's wide enough for a car to pass by.
Well, right now you have a two-way over there, so it'd certainly be wide enough.
Again, at the other side, you have two-way at the other side.
You have two-way all around.
All around. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Brian, Adam. I don't recall that we had no left turn at the last hearing.
But you didn't have 166 cars at the last hearing.
Didn't say it's not going to be a condition. I'm just trying to point out that the last hearing.
I understand.
The other benefit with doing it one way in, one way out is that you can mold the curbs to make it less likely that somebody, is able to make that turn, because it's going to kind of be, the curb will be facing only to the east. The turn would be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Turning only to the east that way.
All right, I'm going to leave this to you guys to decide what you want to do. Okay.
The chairman?
Mike? 1 minute. Mike Ingber, before you continue. Franny, can you give out the zoning board email address? So when we open it, we can open it to the public in a few minutes?
I do have some comments I'd like to.
I'm not ready for the comments. I just want you to announce the email address so if people want to say something, they can send it out.
Zoning board comments at lakewoodnj.gov.
Thank you. Mike Ingber, go ahead.
So the last, are we voting on that tonight, or that goes with the original approval?
That's going with the original approval. That's done. We're just changing it from a daycare / office building to a only office building.
I understand. Okay. Now, the lighting that's going to be coming off this site, did the engineer mention anything about possibly, making sure that there's no light pollution that's going to the neighbors that might, disrupt the neighborhood at all?
We would comply with all ordinances, and we would make sure to direct any of the lighting in the rear away from the residential lots.
So
excuse me, Chairman, if I could just add something on that as well. I think the lighting design, the conditions were covered under the original approval. Now we'll have to review it again in compliance because the parking area's changed. Well, what we typically recommend is that non-security lights go on timers, that they're deactivated when the office building is not in use.
Okay, so are you gonna satisfy Mush Ingber's, issues with lighting pollution into the neighbor's plot?
I'm going to assume that Brian is going to say yes on behalf of his applicant.
Yes.
Okay,
And just for the record, Brian, it was a little unclear before. Judah brought up a very good point. The basement is going to be 100% unfinished. That's correct.
Why do we care if the basement is being used?
more parking.
Usually it's for storage in a building like this, no?
Usually, I mean, that's what it is.
Okay.
You're not putting up there a social hall now in the basement. God forbid. Right?
I can't hear Brian.
Brian is not answering.
There's
Brian,
no
you're on mute.
hall and basement, and we agreed that it's only for utilities, HVAC, that type of thing, and storage. Not no usable area.
Okay.
But he's saying no usable area, but storage, yes.
No rentable.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to say? Okay, seeing none. Franny, can you just announce those number of letters we received, emails we received, and if anyone has anything to say, please send it to Lakewood. What was that again?
Lakewood comments. Oh gosh, you got Lakewood zoning board comments at lakewoodnj.gov.
Zoning board comment at lakewoodnj.gov. Please send in your comments. Franny, what kind of comments did we get thus far?
I'm gonna read them. They're short. This is from Hannah Goldwasser at 1446 East Spruce. They're in favor of the application. One has provided that it has a closed-off gate blocking access.
Franny, can I interrupt you a minute? For the record, I see Jerry has just logged on.
Yes, I'm
Jerry,
here. Thank you, Chairman.
welcome.
I am.
Welcome. Franny, continue.
Hannah Goldwasser, she's in support of the application, provided that it has a closed-off gate blocking access from East Spruce for pedestrian traffic and trees to keep East Spruce looking residential. Shlomo Goldwasser, 1446 East Spruce. They're okay with the change. One of the concerns would be the parking on East Spruce, which is already a congested block. They're asking the board to ensure the applicant puts up a fence around the property so there will be no access from East Spruce, even for pedestrian traffic. In addition, if they can plant any trees to maintain the residential feel when on East Spruce, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Yechiel Epstein, 1411 East Spruce, no objection, but they would like, they understand they were already approved with commercial use.
Franny.
The building back 20 feet.
Franny, if it's all the same, but you don't have to reread each one, just give me the synopsis of each one.
Well, the synopsis is they want trees, they want privacy trees, and they want a fence. And I guess then we will be okay with it.
Okay, so I heard one comment say that it shouldn't turn into East Spruce Street. I don't think this has anything to do with East Spruce Street. It's been totally blocked out of East Spruce Street. Is that what your testimony was? And from what I understand, that you are putting up a fence and trees to not to make a thoroughfare into East Spruce Street. East Spruce Street will be stay and will be strictly a residential block. This won't affect that. Is that what I understood?
And I think also on this one from Schiffer Mayfield, I think they already said that the windows that basically would be frosted and the trees along the rear. And this is from Rifki Field. Pretty much she's saying that it's a huge hazard to the area. The area does not have sidewalks.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
And any other emails came in?
Nope, just the ones you've already received.
Okay, fine. So we'll close it. No more emails. That's fine. Unless we get another email within the next 16 seconds, we'll consider it. If not, we'll keep it down. Any further comments on board members? If not, can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I would,
Who said that?
Moish Lankery.
Moish Langen make a motion to approve. And can I have any conditions? Moish, any conditions?
No conditions.
I would like to approve.
Yes, the fencing and the landscaping and the frosted windows.
Correct.
Yes. Standard.
One more item,
Mayor
Chairman.
has to say something.
Hello.
Mayor, you want to say something, please?
Mayor, give me 1 minute, Mayor. Give me 1 minute. Terry, what do you want to say, Terry?
Yeah, Fran was just listing a couple of the conditions, which I agree with. Typically, Jerry's here the whole time and he keeps notes. He just joined us.
I've seen can you?
Yes, I can.
I've seen the emails. The conditions were to have I think a double row of planting along the rear, along spruce, excuse me. And also, well, I got it here.
I just want to be clear on the landscaping. If you're talking behind the trash enclosure, there's not going to be enough room behind it.
No, it said here, plant trees.
Along the rear property line.
Yeah, the rear
Maybe not
property.
behind the dumpster, but on the sides of it.
That's fine. That's fine.
And also provide a closed gate blocking access from East Spruce to pedestrian traffic.
Correct.
I think that was it, really.
The applicant agreed with 6-foot fence. They included some additional landscaping. And what Terry was saying was we just can't do the trees behind the concrete barrier for the garbage. There's not enough room. Otherwise, we agree. One other thing I heard someone say about frosting of the windows on the second story. We were just asked to work with the board. We don't necessarily want to go to frosting, but we will either raise the windows so it's not accessible so you can see through it, or to tint the windows. But to just say outright that we're going to frost them, we would ask the board not oppose that condition.
All right. One other thing that came up during the hearing, and I want to make sure Jerry gets this in his notes. There was discussion about adding concrete bumper blocks along the easterly parking spaces near the building. The purpose is to make sure cars don't overhang that limited width concrete area between the edge of parking and the building.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
There was another thing we also talked about was to make sure there's no right turn, only right turn in and right turn out.
Okay, thank you, Morty. Mayor, go ahead, Mayor.
I'd like to second this motion, but we're not doing one way in, one way out. Both entrances are for in and both entrances are for out. Because I agree with Ryan.
Correct. I believe that's what Morty just said. But it is right in or right out, and not so you don't have to cross over Pine Street.
Correct. Not one way in.
Okay, so is that your second
No
motion?
basement. We also said no basement.
There is a basement.
No rentable basement space.
No, the basement is for mechanical and storage only.
Okay, so I have a second from Mayor.
Just a moment. I'm a little confused on the right in, right out. Is it right in, right out only, or not? Or is it ways, as Mr. Gelli just said?
No. Only right in or right out. Both entrances are going to be right in or right out.
Right. Correct.
All right.
Okay, Madam Secretary, I have a motion from Moshe Lankery, and I have a second from Mayor Gelli. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Gelling,
Yes.
Mr. Langley,
Yes.
Tally,
Yes.
Mr. Ribbiat,
Yes.
Mr. Gross. Oh, wait, I forgot Mr. Ingber.
Mr. Ingber?
Yes.
Mr. Gross,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez is not, Mr. Halverson.
Yes. Okay, Adam, good night and good luck. Moshe Lankery and Moshe Ingber, before you guys disappear, I need one of you, if you guys can stay on. I have another application over here. Another 2 quick applications, or I don't know if I need 6 votes on it.
The application was an hour, Abe.
I know. You gotta go. Moshe Lankery, you gotta run. Not Moshe Lankery. Moshe Ingber, are you gone? He's gone already. Oh, Moshe Ingber's still there. Moshe, can you still stay on?
Jerry and Terry, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night. Much Ingber, can you stay on or you also have to run?
For how much longer?
How much longer can you stay?
Which one are you doing, Ed?
I'm gonna go back to old business to Ermin.
Okay, 4166.
Yes.
Erman.
I believe a resolution was prepared for the application that we just did.
Yeah, but I don't have time right now. I'll do the resolution as soon as I'm done with the applications.
Oh, we'll do it later this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I'll stay on. Thank you.
Okay, so let me jump on to Ermin. What application is that? That is
4166 Mordechai Erman, 340
Yes.
Laurel Avenue.
Okay,
this
so
was December, and he's been on old business for the last two meetings. He was told to amend his application. So
correct. So
right.
go
So we
ahead.
have Glenn Lyons is here for that.
Basically, what I saw over here, Glenn, I'll give you in a minute. This is strictly old business, and we asked him just to give us on one side 6 feet. So in case, God forbid, there is something that you have to run into the back of the property, you should be able to do that. And I just reviewed it, and I see that I do see one side 6 feet. And with that, I'll let Glenn take over. Glenn, go ahead.
Mr. Lyons, raise your right hand, sir. I don't see you, but please raise your right. Oh, there you are. You swear or affirm to tell the whole truth so help you God.
I do.
And whoever's wrestling the papers, Mr. Rivette, could you please put us on mute?
That's me.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Chairman. Then you can do whatever you want, sir.
You know what? I can do whatever I want. I'm going to put you on mute.
Jerry, just for the record, I'm always on mute.
The applicant Mordechai Erman is here also. I see his name. I can't see his head.
Where is his name? I don't see his name.
Yes, he's here somewhere.
Mr. Erman, I see you now, sir. Could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or
There he
affirm
is.
to tell the whole truth so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I see a 7329 something two ending in 28. Is that for this application?
Yes, my wife.
It's your wife. Is she going to testify?
No.
Not good. Then she can listen in. She wants to make sure you're going to do a good job. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Glenn. It's all yours.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just
I
want to
think
make sure because I'm having.
Just briefly explain what's changed, okay?
Right. At the last meeting, there were two things that the board recommended. One was the 6 feet of space on the west side of the house. We provided that. The other was to move the window well that was on the west side to the rear. We've also done that. We've submitted revised plans which show the house 1 foot narrower so that we went from 5 feet on the west side to 6 feet. That was all as the board had recommended.
Yes, I see that. I have no problems with this, and I'm satisfied with the change.
Mr.
Does
Lyons, give
anyone-
us the date of your revised plans, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the revised plan was dated December 21st, 2020. Was the revision date.
I see 8/27/2020.
That's the main date of the plan. The revision date's on the top of the.
Okay, and then I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. Anyone have any issues with this? Anyone have any issues? Franny, while they're looking, can you please announce that email address again?
Zoning comments at lakewoodnj.gov. Zoning board comments at lakewoodnj.gov.
Okay. Okay. If no one has any comments, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Who's that? Who's making the motion? Mush Ingber, okay. Can I have a second?
I'll second Mayor Gelli.
Mayor Gelli, second. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Langley left.
Yes.
Collins. Collins. I know you're there.
Yes.
Mr. Ribbiat.
Yes.
Mr. Ingber still here?
Yes.
Mr. Gross.
Yes.
Mr. Halberstam.
Yes. Good night and good luck. Enjoy your new home.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
You're good. All right, take care. You can go. Unless if you want to stay for one more, and we'll call it a night, but whatever you want to do. I can't make you stay for another one.
David Bernstein.
David Bernstein, yes. Go ahead.
Ataya Road, block 11.04, lot 7.01, R12 zone. To construct a residential home with variance for combined side yard setback of 20 feet, where 25 feet is required. Also seeking retaining wall approval. And now I see
Who's
David
here for,
Bernstein here. It's gotta be guidelines also, right, Glenn?
Yes.
Okay,
And I
Glenn, before we continue with this application, I have a legal question on this application. And that'll be for Jerry and Terry. I noticed that this application, lot and block is 7.02. That means that it's a subdivision from 7.01 or from 7, whatever it was. Or this is 7.01, the neighboring one is 7.02. My question is, isn't this a self-imposed hardship? Because somebody created an undersized lot or which required 90 feet frontage and they made a 75-foot frontage.
Chairman, that's a good question, but I think we need some evidence as to when the subdivision occurred, who may or may not have been involved with this. What did Mr. Bernstein know or not know, or what due diligence did he undertake? So I think we have to hear Mr. Bernstein or Mr. Lyons if he can answer those questions. I don't know if he can or not.
Okay.
Is
Because
Mr. Bernstein
if this
here
is,
tonight?
excuse me?
Is Mr. Bernstein here tonight?
I saw him here before. I don't see him now. Bela? I see Bela is on. I think she's from New Lines also.
Yes, she
David
is.
Bernstein. David Bernstein. Does anybody hear me?
I hear you. I hear David. Are you 718 phone number ending in 66?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You couldn't hear me before. I'm sorry. Now you hear me. This is
Is
David
that you,
Bernstein.
7189 ending in 66?
Yes.
Okay, yes, I hear you. Did you hear my question? Before we get into this application, I have a legal question if this even can be heard, because there's a rule, I don't know if you're familiar, you can't do a subdivision, or you can't give an approval on a self-imposed hardship. Self-imposed hardship would mean over here, I see that this lot was subdivided with the lot next door and created two lots, 7.01 and 7.02 at 75 feet. Somebody apparently made this subdivision and created self-imposed hardship when you require 90 feet. And therefore,
Mr. Bernstein, why don't you raise your hand, sir, and we'll ask you to affirm. Do you affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Bernstein, are you the owner of the property or are you the contract purchaser?
Owner of the lot.
And how long have you owned it, sir?
4 months, 5 months. 1 second, I'll give you exact closing date. Hold on.
That's all right. That's close enough. About 4 months ago. All right. Do you know the width of the adjoining property, lot 7.02?
75.
Looking at the map, it looks like each of them was 75 feet. 75 by, I'm looking at the map on the plan. Looks like each of them was 75 by approximately 320.
300.
Mr. Lyons, I know that you've been sworn in. Maybe we can go back and forth a little bit between you and Mr. Bernstein. Do you have any knowledge as to when the subdivision and or variance was granted for these two lots?
My recollection is it was subdivided probably 6 to 8 years ago
Why?
by another property owner.
And was there a variance granted then?
They did get variances for 75-foot wide lots, as there's probably half the lots in the neighborhood are 75 feet.
90 is required in that zone, 90 foot width.
Well, I understand, Ms. Siegel, I understand that, but is there a resolution granting 7.01 a variance approval 6 or 8 years ago?
I can't check that now. I don't have the
Would you have that resolution somewhere you can provide it to us?
Not now. We could try to get it.
Not tonight. No, I understand not tonight. Yeah.
No, we can provide it to you. Yes.
Yes.
Well, Chairman, if in fact there's a hardship variance already granted, for the 75-foot versus 90, then he has the approval to grant to do that. And we'll have to be certain about that when Mr. Lyons and/or Fran can get us the resolution that was presumably adopted 6-8 years ago.
I mean,
So-
the lot width would have had to been approved, and it could have been a straight planning board.
Correct, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. If the planning board did it, or we did it, and if the planning board did it, Jerry, if the planning board did it, then we have to adhere to the approval, correct?
Yes, we do. And I would suggest to you, unless there's an objection from Mr. Bernstein, that we hold off on this application. It's a relatively quick application, assuming we have all the facts. And I think we need to know if the variance was already granted.
Correct. That was my legal question before.
And if it was granted, there probably is not a need for a variance application now. Yeah.
Right.
It's already done. So, at this point, there's a setback variance request, but they may not need the lot width. Mr. Bernstein, did you follow all of that, sir?
I'm sorry?
Did you understand what we were saying?
Meaning it may have been already granted a 55-foot?
Well, we got to check. It may have been granted when these, which appears to be 6 or 8 years ago. If it was not granted.
Oh, here. Okay. Is New Lines on the phone?
I'm sorry?
He's there.
Is New Lines on the phone?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I'm in a hearing. I can't.
So, I mean, but I don't know how long it will take to find that out, and then
We have
wait for the next.
our next meeting service in 3 weeks, I think. We would, if there's a resolution, we'll find it probably next couple of days. And then, so
What
it
do
would
we
be
lose
my,
by doing it now?
I'm sorry?
What do we lose by doing it now?
3 weeks.
Just
And you don't have enough information. As the chairman indicated, this could be an issue of a self-created hardship, which might not entitle you to a variance. And you may not need it if you do already have other approvals 6 or 8 years ago. So I think it would behoove you to agree to extend it for 3 or 4 weeks until we get all the information.
The next meeting is February 1st, and we would put him on old business.
Yeah, I put him on old business, so he'll be on the first one.
Excuse me, Chairman.
Yes, who is that?
This is Terry.
Yes, Terry.
I just wanted to put one thing on the record and let the applicant and his engineer planner think about this. We had a concern that we had expressed in our review of this application, independent of the variance issue, but you're putting retaining walls on both sides of this property up to 6 feet. And the question that we had raised in our review, page 3, our second comment, what is this doing to the adjacent properties? In other words, if someone lives on one of these lots, or if someone buys one of these lots and goes to build, and you've got a 6-foot wall on the property line, are those grades cut in stone, or can this be lessened to impact potential impacts on those adjacent properties? You follow what I'm asking, Glenn?
Yeah, Glenn, don't you think this is perhaps something that you and Terry Vogt ought to talk about the next 3 weeks? And maybe
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, make sure that the contours on the adjoining properties may or may not be an issue in terms of this retaining wall.
Yeah, you have to think of the adjacent properties.
Well, I have testimony for that, so.
Okay, all right.
I'll talk to Terry before the next.
Okay, but Mr. Bernstein, it'll be my recommendation that you postpone this thing until we square away the issue that I raised before. And let's make sure that there's no conflicts or legal issues with the property and the hearing till February 1st hearing.
He does not have to renotice, no renotice.
Correct.
We need to hear from Mr. Bernstein that he agrees to that. I didn't hear that yet.
Mr. Bernstein, are you okay?
If that's the new line, I don't understand this fully, but if that's the new line recommends, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay, fine. Can I have a motion to table, Franny, what's this appeal number?
4-1.
4168 and no notice.
Okay, with a waiver of time. Can I have a motion 4168 to table for February 1st under old business?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mayor Gelli, second by Amram Naftali. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Gelli,
Yes.
Mr. Naftali,
Yes.
Mr. Ribbiat,
Yes.
Mr. Gross, and Mr. Halberstam.
Yes. Okay, good night.
Mr. Chairman,
Terry, I understand you have a resolution for us, on the first property that we approved on Spruce Street?
Yes, sir. Yes,
698 River, you have to do also.
We did that already. We did that
Okay, I'm
resolution.
sorry, you're right.
I don't hear you.
I never know which way to move things. Mr. Pfeffer had asked if we could prepare the resolution ahead of time because of, these are my words, the relatively small changes from the original approval, which I did. We got a carry from last week, so you have it tonight. And I think that it does comply with the application as approved this evening. I would recommend that you adopt the resolution.
Okay, so if that's the case, I will move forward. To approve the resolution based on what Terry just said, even though I haven't seen it.
Jerry said it.
Jerry said.
Yeah, don't embarrass me. Don't insult me.
I'm not going to insult you. I think enough of that this past year. 21 will be a straight, clean year. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by, what's your name again? Avram Naftali.
Avram Naftali,
Can I have a second one?
I'll second.
Second, Mayor Gelli. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Gelli,
Yes.
Mr. Naftali,
Yes.
Mr. Ribbiat,
Yes.
Mr. Gross,
Yes.
and Mr. Halberstam.
Yes.
Thank you very
Can I have a
much.
motion to pay bills?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, a motion to close tonight's meeting?
Yes.
Take care. Good night, everyone. See you back on February 1st.
February 1st. Abraham, where's
I just want to let you know,
Yes?
I'm at home, I'm always on mute. You would not have heard papers ruffling from me.
Abraham, tell him.
Papers. I'm never on mute. When I'm home, no.
We're never on mute, period.
Hey, do you even know what the mute button is?
I don't know what a mute button is. I have no idea.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Fun. Take care,
Good
guys.
night, everybody.
Bye.